Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are continuing our off-season preview, rankings, all the fun that we have with your host, Dap Scout, and Joe Bond, the owner, the founder of Fantasy Six Pack. Hey, Joe, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good, man. Ready to wrap this series up and get everybody ready for their fantasy baseball drafts. Blech, I can talk.
Well, I'm loving the comments so far. Look, I'm always down to debate. I'm always up for comments that say, hey, you're an idiot, which I get all the time, even at home. So we're here for our starting pitcher bus series. So I expect to see a lot of comments. And before we kick that off, come on down to fantasy6pack.net and become a subscriber, become an all access member. You get access to our award winning cheat sheet, our award-winning rankers, as well as you will meet many of them also in our Discord, where you have access to myself and Joe and everybody else, where we can break down your lineups, who you should pick, who you should start, and whether or not you should really do that 12-1 trade that one weird team sent you late last night. We're here to help you out however we can. So come on down, use the promo code below. And it's F6P. Wait, what's the promo code? Just one more time there, Joe.
F6P MLB 24.
MLB. I knew I was gonna do .net again. All right, so let's kick it off for the first bust. I can't wait to see the comments on this one. Joe, let us know who you picked.
Mr. Aaron Nola, my our podcast co-host AJ Epigarth will hate me for this one, but look, I get the kind of safety feeling of Aaron Nola, and I know he's got the stuff, right? Like over 200 strikeouts the last 3 years. That's nothing to sneeze at, right? The guy's a workhorse. You're going to get tons of innings, tons of strikeouts, and that's fantastic, and that is valuable. Do not get me wrong, but he's going as sometimes like a top 12 pitcher.
Yep.
Let's take a look here on the board at his last 4 seasons here.
Okay.
And his ERA, right? So we're looking at 3.28, solid. 4.63, not so solid, right? 3.25, solid. 4.46, not so solid. The whips are all over the place from 1.79 to 1.15. Like those are okay. Like the 1.15 are decent. Like don't get me wrong, those are okay. It's the ERA, man. And look, maybe it's an even year, right? So maybe we're going to get that 3.2, 6 ERA. I don't know, man. There's just something about him that just strikes me as if he can't rack up 190 innings, like what are we, what's his value here? Like the ERA is always a risk. He's been allowing a lot of home runs over his career. So that's a big thing for him. He got the big contract. So maybe that's some, relief there. But, sometimes getting those big contracts, maybe there's extra pressure. But I mean, like, again, home runs per 9 last year went up to 1.49, a little inflated. And that's what gets him on those years where he's got these inflated ERAs in the 4s. The home runs are killer for him. So, if he can figure that out again this year, then we'll be good. But it's a gamble, man, to me at pick, for SP 12-ish range. So I'm gonna pass on him there. He's got value, but that's a little bit too much for me.
So for people who are actually listening to this and not just going through the names, let me just take a quick step back. What Joe and I are doing here, we're looking at the top 100 ADP picks, and we're seeing if they're going to return value at least at that pick. And if not, then we're looking to see how much less value they're going to give you, and we consider that to be a bust. Not that Aaron Nola is just going to be garbage, right? Hot garbage. But are we, is he providing that value at, a top 100 pick? And that's really kind of what we're kind of cluing into. So definitely.
I mean, another thing to look at with him is his strikeout rate is dropping every single year by like a full
strikeout,
full strikeout per 9. So not to say it's going to do it again, but I mean that, he was getting 225 strikeouts for every 180 innings a couple of seasons ago.
Right.
That's now not happening. So he's losing a little bit more value every single year. So I'm going to pass on where he's at. So who's your number one?
I can't wait for the hate mail on this one. Dylan Cease. To me, here's the thing. I've been seeing Dylan Cease being drafted all over the place. I've been seeing him picked in the top 60. I've seen him picked 120th. But his ADP right now is solidly in the top 100, sometimes in the top 80. At that price, I'm completely out on Dylan Cease. You give me, past the 100, pick mark, I will jump on Cease bandwagon all day because, I love the strikeouts. The question is going to be kind of everything else with him, right? Will he be able to fix that ERA? He didn't. He only had 7 wins last year, and the fact is, more than likely, he's going to be traded this year as well, right? So is that going to hamper his psyche? He looks great in spring.
Might help.
It might help. You're right. Absolutely. But there's a lot of kind of things going on there that concern me. But again, it's about value. If I'm getting him in the top 100, absolutely I'm out. But Frank Amarante, F.A. Amarante TFG on TFJ on Twitter, he really talks about the fact that, look, his whip, don't look at his whip. But pitchers outside the top 100 all have flaws. Again, in top 100, I'm out on Cease. But there's a chance that he can go back to that 1.11, 1.25 whip in 2021, 2022. But there's a lot of flaws in what we saw last year, and I don't know if people are just looking at the totality of his work, kind of like with Nola, and picking at with him in the top 100. But right now, there's just no value where that is, and he needs to give you one of those stellar Cease years to even break even at this point. And so for that reason, I'm out on Cease.
Yeah, I will say I would much rather have Cease than Nola. They're kind of the same when you look at them, and you're getting him 4 rounds later. Outside of the whip, right? For Nola and him, like that's the big difference there, right? But the strikeouts are there, but the ERA is sort of the kind of like, oh no, like which one are we gonna get?
Right, absolutely. But again, we know how much you don't like Nola. I mean, I think this is your 3rd year in a row not liking Nola. So
probably.
All right,
we can do it just to piss off AJ.
Yeah, probably. All right, Joe, who's your first non-Nola pick?
Oh, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one. I know.
I'm walking away from the screen. I know exactly who you're going.
I'm nervous to hit the button. All right. Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yoshi got
destroyed it. Yoshi Yamamoto. All right. Look, I get all the fanfare. He's a stellar pitcher coming over. He strikeouts galore. Just domination, right?
Right.
That's not the MLB, right? Look, we get it. There are guys that can come over and succeed in the MLB, but to be I'm just going to tell you where his ADP is right now. His ADP for pitchers is SP 9.
What?
No way, no how. He's going over Pablo Lopez, George Kirby, Glasnow. I sort of understand Logan Webb, even Aaron Nola, Skubal, Fried. No way, no how. Am I picking
there's got to be dynasty drafts included or something.
I don't think it is.
Nuts.
Dude, it's
really?
NBC, it's Yahoo. No way, no how.
Wow.
Look, could he surprise and actually finish there? Yes, but you are 1,000% paying for the ceiling of him at SP9.
Right.
That is bonkers to me. Look, I pulled up. I was just curious.
Sure.
When I was putting this together, I saw that and I was like, what in the hell? I'm like, how good have some of these Japanese, Korean pitchers that have come over, how good have they been their rookie seasons, right?
Right.
I'm just going to go straight to the top of the list for time's sakes.
Right.
Number 1, Hideo Nomo in 1995. His final NPB season, 8-7, 3.63 ERA, 126 strikeouts, 1.6 whip, not great, right? Came over though and just lit it up. I mean, was phenomenal. 2.54 ERA, 236 strikeouts, a 1.06 whip, was fantastic. That is basically what Yamamoto needs to do in order to return value. That's how crazy this is, right? you go one step back. Cody Senga just last season, 2.98 ERA, 202 strikeouts, 1.22 WHIP. I mean, he's got to finish right around that range. That's a lot to ask for a guy who has never made a pitch in the MLB, in my opinion. And so I am 100% out at this price range. On our cheat sheet and my rankings, you will not see him anywhere near that level.
So you have him. You have him ranked at SP 10, then I assume.
I don't even know where I've got him ranked, but no, it's not that. I actually had to because projections are actually pretty high on him, right?
Right.
So I have to manually move him down in my rankings.
Wow.
There's no way. Yeah. I moved him to around overall 70-ish. So right around the Grayson Rodriguez, that kind of range.
That's fair. Absolutely
that's fair.
Right.
Right.
But again, from a bust perspective, if you're picking somebody and he ends up giving you the value of 60, 70 picks less, especially in the top 100 where you really can't make too many mistakes, that's a bust. And if he's
Yamamoto's range, it's top 40.
SP9, I didn't realize that because I don't check all the rankings beforehand. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy how high he was. I was shocked to see it. So, all right, who's your last one, man, to close this out?
Okay, I'm gonna get hate for this as well. So Christian Javier. So here is the thing with him. Look, he's with the Astros, great. And of course, his ERA sticks out, 4.56. The thing that people don't realize is he is a 1.5, 1 2/3 pitch pitcher. He has an amazing, elite, incredible fastball. And if you want to read more about it, read Jake Milhot's article on Fangraphs that he published. It just breaks it down. It's, the vertical break and all these different things. But if that breaks down, or if he's too hyped up, and like what happened against the Rangers during the playoffs, right? If they just kind of wait on every other pitch, which grades out to maybe average, but mostly below average, his breaking ball is off speed and all that, then he's going to get rocked. Mm-hmm. And where Christian Javier is going right now is it's just not where he needs to be going. I mean, let's put it that way. I'm seeing him everywhere from, again, within the top 80, and then again, all the way back to 140. Again, if he's in the 140 range, all day, right? If I can, if he's my SP4, SP3, SP4 on my team, I'll take that all day long. But people are drafting him like he's your SP2, and that is nuts. You don't know what you're going to get, especially with his ERA. Now, he looks great in spring training. Let's put all our money on spring training because that's exactly how they act in the real time, right? And that's the thing, right? Again, if you have somebody who is basically one pitch pitcher, again, elite, all-time type, pitcher right now when it comes to that fastball, if you have smart hitters, like, again, I'm just throwing out there, like the Rangers, the Dodgers, with veterans, they're going to game plan against that one pitch and they're going to hurt them. And so if you're in a daily league or if you're in a league where you can kind of sit him and figure out where he's going to be, then absolutely grab him. Do not grab him in the top 100. That's nuts, but definitely grab him and, protect him where you can. But he's not at the point where he used to be, where, especially in 2022, where, he was kind of newer and people didn't really have the full book on him, where you could just kind of set it, forget it. I think he needs to either have shown gains, which I haven't seen much yet, of, some other pitches and really have kind of raised those up. Because if people can just sit and say, hey, if it's a fastball, I'm laying off of it, then we're looking at somebody that should be, late innings kind of person as opposed to a starting pitcher at that point.
Yeah, I've got him around 170 ranking. Perfect. So yeah, There you go.
Yeah, I mean, he's solidly right now ADP in the top 100, and when I saw that, I was like, that's my guy. that's my bust pick. Just that's there's no value there in the sense that, again, you're drafting him in the top 100 at his ceiling.
You're chasing wins with him because he plays for Houston. That's what happens. I think people see a name, they're also familiar with it. That happens a lot, unfortunately, and that's where we could take advantage.
Yep.
So,
and that's where we're going to try to save you, dear viewer, to not do. So Well, our bust and sleeper picks, this series has been so much fun to do. You don't get to see Joe and I kind of making fun of each other off the, before these videos come on. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to get so much hate for that. Or, oh my God, what did you do? At the same time, we do make mistakes as well. Hey, please call us out on Twitter. Please call us out in the comments as well if you don't agree with us. But please keep checking back. We're going to be constantly posting videos as we go through this off season of team previews. We're going to bring in some experts as well. And we look forward to constantly interacting with you on our Discord chat as well. So from Joe and myself, thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.